Hey everybody, it's Kyla at the MJC again, and I'm here this time to walk you guys through the Summons with Minor Children form. This is part of the Divorce Part 1, so the paperwork used to begin the divorce process. But before I get started, as always, just a reminder that nothing in this video is intended to be legal advice. It's a video, so I'm not able to analyze your specific situation, to tell you whether this is the right timing on your divorce, to tell you whether a court is likely to award you what you're asking for in your divorce, or even to tell you whether a divorce is the right thing to do in your situation. So if you have any questions about those sorts of things, or if you have questions about what paperwork you should be using, then I would recommend that you get some legal advice. You can get brief legal advice for free in Milwaukee County through the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. If you aren't located in Milwaukee County, you can contact your clerk of court to find out what resources are available for self-represented litigants in your area. All right, so getting back to the form here. Here at the very top, you're going to put in the county where you are planning to file the paperwork. And for most people, this is going to be the county where you live. For some people, it might be the county where your spouse lives for some reason, but you'll want it to be the county where one or the other of you is located. All right, so I'm going to put Milwaukee because that is where the Justice Center is located. Yes, so here we've got two people that we're going to use here. The petitioner is the person who is asking for a divorce. So the petitioner is most likely you, the person watching this video, the person who is wanting to file this paperwork to get the divorce process started. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll put John Doe. For those of you who've watched other videos, John Smith, those of you who've watched other videos will know he's one of the characters that we use to sort of do our sample forms here. And just as a reminder, if you and your spouse are planning to go forward together, so if you both plan to sign all the documents and you're going to work through this divorce process as a team, then this summons isn't the right form. You would need a different set of paperwork. So again, this is just if you are asking for a divorce, but your spouse isn't going to sign the paperwork and work together with you on it. All right, so here we'll enter the address for the petitioner. So again, whoever's name we put here. And we'll put in John's address. You'll put the city and state where that person, where that address is. Oh, and make sure you get in the right box there. And then here you're going to put the respondent. And the respondent is your spouse. It is the other person in this marriage. The person who is not here asking for a divorce right now. And you'll put their address as well. Oh, and I got myself tabbed over there, so I'm just going to clear that. And then here, and the city, we'll put Milwaukee. And there. And one thing I should note, something we hear a lot from people is, well, I don't know where my spouse lives. I don't know their address. Can't I just leave that section blank? And unfortunately, no. At least here in Milwaukee, they do want you to put an address on this form. And so what we recommend doing, if you don't know where your spouse lives currently, is that you go ahead and you use the last known address for your spouse. So the last place that you could send them mail and use it here. You will still need to get the other person served, and so you'll want to check out some of our resources and information about service if you don't know where your spouse lives. But for filling out the form, you can just use that last known address. Here you'll select either divorce or legal separation. For a lot of for some of you, you may need to get information about, whether you want to do a divorce or legal separation. There's definitely more to it than this, but the basic starting point is at the end of a divorce, you're saying your marriage is irretrievably broken and you've split up all your stuff and you are not married to each other anymore. At the end of a legal separation, you've split up your stuff and also done like custody placement for the kids, and that happens in a divorce as well. But at the end of a legal separation, you are still married to each other. And usually you're not saying your marriage is irretrievably broken, you're just saying it's broken in some way. So we're going to go ahead and select divorce. But again, if you have questions about whether you should be doing a divorce or a legal separation, that's a great question for legal advice. You won't have a case number yet. So this form, this summons, is part of a packet that's used to start a brand new case. And so if you already have a case number, either this is the wrong paperwork, or it could be that you had a previous case that ended at some point. So you started the divorce process, but for whatever reason you didn't finish it. Maybe you couldn't get your spouse served, maybe something came up and you weren't able to finish it. If that's the case, then you won't put that case number here. You won't have any case number on this because this is starting a brand new different case. Great, so we'll move on now. Down here, it wants to know the address for the clerk of court for your county. So obviously the name of county, that first line, is pretty easy. For me, that's going to be Milwaukee County because that's where John and Jane, or where John at least, is starting his case. For you, it might be different. It might be whatever county you're in. And then to find the address of the clerk of court, I'm going to show you how to do that because I assume most people, unlike me, don't just know that right off the top of their head. So you'll go to your favorite browser. I've just pulled up Google here, and you're just going to search for, like here, I would say Milwaukee County Clerk of Court, and you can see I've searched for it before. Milwaukee County Clerk of Court. And you search for that. It takes Google a minute to pull that up. And then you can go through this, of course, but if you look over here, Milwaukee County Clerk of Circuit Court, and it lists the address. And so we can use that address, 901 North 9th Street, 53233, for our form. And so we'll go back here, and I'm just going to enter that address just as it appeared before. North 9th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53233. And it's going to be just like that. And then you'll do the same thing for the county's child support agency. Again, back to Google, Milwaukee County, or again, whatever county you're in, and this time, child support agency. And then, again, you could find it by going through here, but you can see it's got it nicely for us. We can see it's Milwaukee County Child Support Agency, and it's at the same address as the court, the clerk of court. That's pretty common because typically they tend to be in the same buildings. They're usually both in the courthouse. Milwaukee County Child Support Agency. But it's still worth Googling just to be sure because occasionally you will have situations where for whatever reason they're not in the same building. And the other thing I will note is if for some reason when you search for your county, either if you can't find the address or if you're not sure if it's right, something about it seems off, then what you could do is you could contact the clerk of court, you could give them a call, or you could contact the child support agency to get the address for that. So child support can tell you the address for their office in your county, and the clerk of court can tell you the address for their county. All right, so that's those two sections. And then we'll scroll on down. So then here, if you can get this phone number for the disability accommodations, that's fantastic. Technically, the form wants it, but I know I've certainly seen people who were able to successfully file without having that phone number. So if you're not able to find it, you likely can still file this form. So then I'm just going to go ahead and you'll put in your name. So John puts in his name here. You'll put your address one more time, and his was North Main Street, I believe. Yep, so you'll put in your address. You'll put in an email address if you have one. If you don't have an email address, just go ahead and leave that blank. You'll put in a phone number here. All right, perfect. And so most people who are watching this video at least aren't going to have a state bar number because state bar numbers are just if you're an attorney filling out these forms. I guess if you are an attorney, first of all, hey, thanks for watching my video. And second, you would put your state bar number if you're a lawyer. For signing and dating, usually we don't have you put anything in. You'll sign it when you've printed it out and you're ready to turn it in, and you'll date it here. at the same time. So you're dating whenever you sign it. So I guess if you know for certain you're going to turn it in, today, or you're going to sign it today, then you could type in the date. But typically we would just have you handwrite the date when you sign. Then you'll notice down here, there's some statutory language, and it continues onto this page. Make sure you do need to turn in this page with just statutory language as part of your packet. So when you print this out, you need to print all 3 pages, make copies of all 3 pages, treat this last page just like it is a part of the packet, even though we're not filling out anything on that page. All right, well, that is everything you need to fill out on this summons. So we are done with this document. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you didn't, or if you still need additional information, you're certainly welcome to come into our courthouse location. We're located in room G9 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse, where we can give you more information about filling out the form, or additional information about the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics and other resources to help you with this sort of thing. All right, that is all for this video. I will be back pretty soon with the petition with minor children and some of the documents that you fill out when you don't have minor children. So I will, or I guess I won't see you guys, but you will hear from me then. And I hope that you all go out and represent yourselves well.